World Rivers, Part 25. Well, the three quarters of the fresh water is stored as land ice. Nearly all the remainder occurs at ground as groundwater. Lakes hold less than 0.5% of all fresh water. Soil moisture accounts for about 0.05%, and water in river channels for roughly half as much as 0.025%, which represents only about one-four thousandths of the earth, one-four thousandths of the Earth's total fresh water. Water is constantly cycled through the system of land ice, soil, lakes, groundwater in part and river. Groundwater in part and river channels. However, the discharge of the rivers to the oceans delivers to this system of equivalent of the water vapor that is blown over land and then consequently precipitated as rain or snow. There is some 7% of the mean annual precipitation on the globe and 30% of the precipitation on land areas. Rivers are 100 times more effective than coastal erosion in delivering rock debris to the sea. Their rate of sediment delivery is equivalent to an average lowering of the lands by 30% by 30 centimeters, 12 inches in 9,000 years, a rate that is sufficient to remove all the existing continental relief in 25 million years. Rock debris enter fluvial systems either as a fragments eroded from the rocky channels or in dissolved form. During transit downstream, the solid particles undergo systematic changes in the size and shape, traveling as bed load or suspension load. Generally speaking, except in high latitudes and on steep coast, little or no course bed load ever reaches the sea. Movement of the solid load down a river valley is irregular, both because the stream flow is irregular and because the transported material is liable to enter temporary storage, forming distinctive river belts features that range through riffles, midstreams, bar points, mainstream bars, point bars, floodplains, levees, alluvial fans, and river terraces. In one such In one sense, such geometric features belong to the same series as deltas, estuary fills, and the terrestrial sediments of many inland basins. Rates of erosion and transportation and comparative amounts of the solid and dissolved load vary widely from river to river. Least is known about dissolved load, which at coastal outlets is added to oceanic salt. Its concentration in the tropical rivers is not necessarily high, although very high discharges can move large accounts. The dissolved load of the lowermost Amazon averages about 40 parts per million, whereas the Elbe and the Rio de Grande, by contrast, average more than 800 parts per million. Suspended load for the world in general perhaps equals 2.5 times dissolved load. Well over half of the suspended load is deposited as river.